Why, hello, Michael Mackey.
Hello, meteorologist Scott Havens. It's meteorologist Michael Mackey.
Thank you for dialing in the great, cool summer weather. Drinks with leaders, and it's been 98, 99 degrees, and you dialed this up?
I know. You're welcome, America. So I will be pooling it later this afternoon. I should have pooled it yesterday, but it was too hot. Today it's perfect because the water's just temperature is right. I feel chef's kiss. So
That's right. You know what else is perfect is Evardy Construction, the new sponsor for the show, along with Bestway International. So for those of you who are not familiar with Evardy Construction, it was started by Brian Hardy and Chris Evans, which hence Evardy.
Evardy.
And they had their 10-year anniversary last Thursday, and they had all their partners and clients show up. And if people aren't friends with Evardy Construction, they need to be, because they're some of the kindest and sweetest people in the world, just like you, Michael Mackey.
So sweet. Oh. I'll slip you $20 later. It's fine.
Oh, well, you know, the one thing is Evardy Construction would be really appreciative that you just got a haircut because it looks really nice.
I did. I wanted to look nice for you today, meteorologist Scott Havens. So thus the haircut.
Well, good. Well, Bestway International, they'll deliver it, and Evardy Construction will build it. And so we're happy
you are
to
covered all the way across the board.
That's right. And so, well, the good news is we have two amazing guests, and as much as people want to hear about us, we are going to be bringing them in and talking about things. But just as a recap on the show, we've now had over 600 guests on the show, coming up on 5 years in March. And so we're really happy Evardy Construction and Bestway International are along for that ride. So we highlight a lot of their clients and their associates as well. But today we have some really unique individuals from all throughout Kansas City that are going to be telling us their story. And you're going to be introducing them when Sander starts playing the music. Are you ready?
I am.
Aaron, this is the time where Aaron hates the music, but you and I love it. Go ahead.
All right, first out of the gate is the lovely and talented Alix Hoylman. She's the director of private events at Rieger and Company. Hello, Alix. And next up, we have Gauvin she's the operations coordinator at Equity Bank. Dawn, after all that, did I pronounce your last name right? Gauvin?
You did. Yes, you did.
God. Couldn't just have names like Smith or Joe. Had to be like way out there. So.
I'm going to change it just for you.
Yeah, so
you don't have to. Yeah. Oh, that was a harsh stop with the music. We didn't just fade it out. It's like, music done.
Done.
Ladies, did you see that we have a new sponsor, Evardy Construction?
I saw that. Hey.
Very exciting.
Hey, shout out to them. All right. Well, we're going to get started with the tough questions first. I shouldn't say tough, but whatever. So, Alix, you're up first. First and foremost, who are you? What do you do? And how did you get to Kansas City? Go.
So I am the private event director here at Rieger. I got to Kansas City. I actually started here, left for a little bit, went to Pennsylvania, and then came back. So I grew up here for the most part. Was in Pittsburgh for 7 years and then came back to be closer to family, and ended up having my daughter here. So, just happily ever after here in Kansas City. But before I came to Rieger, I was in the cheese industry for 10 years. Yes, I was a cheesemonger and owned my own cheese shop in Pittsburgh. Wow. So it's kind of a very
Pittsburgh,
unique
PA or Pittsburgh, Kansas?
Pittsburgh, PA.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was out there for 7 years, met my husband out there, owned a little cheese shop, and that's how I started getting into events. So I had my little shop, but I would do tasting classes all around the city, and that got me in front of different groups of people. So that led me down the event road, and then here I am, planning parties with booze instead of cheese. So there's still some cheese sometimes, I'll say.
I was going to say, I feel like I feel like cheese is sprinkled into everything because cheese.
A party isn't complete without cheese. So yeah.
Correct. So I think the most important question, the most pressing one I have is stinky cheese, yay or nay? And what's your favorite?
The stinkier, the better.
Me too.
Yeah. So my favorite is Red Hawk. It's from Cowgirl Creamery out in California. It's a triple cream washed rind. So it's all of the decadent funk on top.
The decadent funk. Hashtag, that's the hashtag of the day.
That should be my, yes.
Mike, almost slide in one thing because I know you have one question, but you're throwing a party here next Friday, and I know Michael has a question after that.
Yeah, so the bulk of my job is with my private event clients, but I team up with another gal here, our director of community engagement, to do all of our internal events. And we have a big party next Friday, 816 Day, to celebrate Kansas City, but also to celebrate the release of a brand new bourbon. So it'll be 4 to 8 next Friday. Bourbon drinks are only $8.16. We will have a huge vendor market, live music. So that's kind of taking up our August planning, which is super fun.
Alix, as you know, I will be there because I would go to the opening of an envelope, and I'm going to just say that is my invite right there. So there you go.
Done. Everybody's invited. More information on our website. So
4 to 8 at the Rieger next Friday.
Yes. 816.
All right, Dawn. Before we hop over to you, I want to remind our lovely viewers to chime in where you are watching us from, whether that's LinkedIn, YouTube, yada, 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 because we want to know, chime in and let us know what outlet you're watching us on. Next up, Dawn, same questions. Who are you? What do you do? And more importantly, how did you get to Kansas City?
Well, I'm Dawn, and unfortunately, I have nothing to do with bourbon and cheese other than on the side. And so now I know my career feels really like down the hill now. I'm not going to match that. I'm an Air Force veteran, brought to Warrensburg. I live in Warrensburg, not in Kansas City. So I've been here about 30 years now, out of the Air Force. I have worked at several industries in Warrensburg, at the hospital, at the university, and now I work for Equity Bank. And I started there as an executive assistant and quickly started taking on operations audits of their operations. We had the banks broke up into regions, and so our region had 19 branches. I would go around and make sure they could all pass an operational audit. Not nearly as exciting as bourbon and cheese, but so that's what I did there. And on the side, I coach CrossFit. I do notary signings on the side. I pick up whatever skill I can. I get a certification. I'll go get a certification for anything. So I have my real estate license. I have my project management certification.
You are a Renaissance woman, Dawn. I love it.
I love to learn things. So if I find something that I think is going to make me smarter or a better employee or better prepared, then I'm like, I'll take that. I'll do that. So I just sign up for stuff. I just signed up the other day to take a microeconomics class because I wish I was an economist. So I was trying to be smarter about economics.
And you have your master's as well, right?
I have my master's in communications. Yeah. So
you are a Renaissance woman. This upcoming month, what are you most excited about in your world outside the econ class?
Yeah.
Outside of that, well, I'm going to go to Montana to see my niece. So I'm excited about that. Was there something I was supposed to be excited about?
No, I was just curious. You have like 12 different things cooking. I'm just curious in a Renaissance woman's world, what makes you the most excited? I didn't know if you were about to run 5 miles and do a bunch of pull-ups.
No, but I have ran a couple marathons, so I have done that. So I don't want to do that again. So I just love to try new things. I love to be smart, get smart, and I like challenging myself. So I really am just with this new, they've kind of developed my role, expanded it. And so I have to take a lot of banking courses. So next week I get to take a retail lending course. So I'll find out how that works. And I didn't know how it worked before.
That sounds riveting.
It sounds riveting, but my think of it as I didn't know how it worked before. Now I'll know how it works. So it just makes me.
Dawn, I feel like we should go to I bet you Alix could find out, but I think we should go to like a gourmet cheese class, like how to prepare cheese. I feel like we can invite Scott too. He could be there too.
Absolutely. Let's do it. I'm sure Alix could set the whole thing up.
And then we can take one of your CrossFit classes and work it off.
I'll coach you. I'll coach 5:30 a.m. So just be ready for that.
I'm a pass on that, but that's okay.
So as we get the shot clock rolling, I'll ask Alix her next question. But Michael Mackey, people know him oftentimes through the media or through his spin class. So that's just a fun little. I'll drop.
Do you coach spin?
I do. Well, I teach a class called. Well, I used to teach spin, and I now teach a class called barbell, which is like circuit with weights. So a lot of people know me from the media, but a lot of people are like, "I took your class, and you kept me, and I'm never coming back." And I'm like, "Yay, goal achieved."
I have my weightlifting certification too, so I know a barbell.
Boom. All right. Before we find out any more certifications, Alix, what is the most? We got to start the shot clock here, but what was the most pivotal point in your career?
So I think it's when I came on to Rieger, kind of in that process. I had really been roughing it for a long time, kind of finding my way, in my early 20s, post-college, dabbling in the corporate world and finding out, what I loved and what I was good at. And then I moved here and had to start all over again. So I didn't have a network. I didn't have, a core group of people around me. So I had to build that up. And I think just kind of for the first time as a young person, seeing all of those connections kind of come to fruition and having my hard work recognized, and also, being able to get out of at least this very specific niche that I was in, for people to see the skills that I had and be able to apply that into other fields and other expertises. It was just really great. So I had worked with people at the distillery for years. We would do cheese and cocktail pairing classes, and just year after year built up that relationship. And I really came to appreciate what they were doing. And so, they vouched for me after working with them for a few years, and that really launched me into this next growth period. So that's kind of what started it all for me.
What do you think you learned the most about going to Rieger and then coming back?
Coming back to
Rieger from Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So I think it's how to build from nothing. And even so, I was, still in the cheese industry when I came here, but kind of dabbling into the private event world. But then going to Rieger, my horizons just kind of opened, my networks opened. I'm part of a group here called MPI, Meeting Professionals International. And even just in less than a year's time, I've really gotten to know similar people in the industry and around the community. And it has been so quick and so easy to get to know all of them and learn from them. So that's probably the biggest hurdle, is just an investment in myself. And then I can kind of take the ball running. So
do you have a favorite part of your job?
It's different every day. Some of the stuff that I comes out of my mouth every day, I can't believe. It's always something weird, and I'm a little weird too, and I get to let my weirdness shine. So that's fun too.
So Dawn, what is the most pivotal point in your career?
I really gave this some thought, talked to a friend about it. I don't think I've had my pivotal moment in my career yet. I kind of started a little late on a career path. I've lived in Warrensburg and then had a little bit of a life change and kind of got really I'm on my own, got to make my path in a professional life. So I think the pivotal moment though, that kind of got me on this path was when I worked at the university. I didn't have a master's degree yet. And if you would have asked me when I was 20 if I was going to have one, I would have said, no, I'm not smart enough for that. I didn't think I was dumb, but I didn't think I was that kind of smart. And I think when I got that, which was because my boss at the time had said he just didn't believe in promoting people who were not taking advantage of free education, because it's free when you go to the university to take classes. So I thought, oh, if I want to move up, if I want promoted, if I want more responsibility, I better go get my master's degree. So I did it. And so I think that then ignited in me like, well, what can I do now? So that was pivotal in kind of changing my direction. I was talking to our mutual friend, Eric, yesterday, and because he said, have you always been this driven? And I said, no, I don't know what happened. I think it was when that happened. So that's when I thought, okay, well, what else can I do? So if I would still be at the university, I probably would have got a doctorate just because it's there and it was free, and why wouldn't I? So I would do it. So that's why I think I work on certifications and like what can I do with my career? I don't really quite know yet. So I do love the bank. I love my bank managers and supporting them, and I'm able to help them as much as I possibly can to be successful in their right. So I really do love support roles. So I think haven't found the pivotal moment in the career yet, but that was the pivotal moment that got me started in a career.
Where do you think liking to be part of teams came about? Did that come from your military service?
Probably. I really like supporting. I like coaching because when I coach CrossFit, I love coaching our people. I love it when people are able to do things they were never able to do before, or didn't think they were capable of doing before, and then they never could do a pull-up. Now they can do a pull-up. So I like supporting them to make them successful. I feel like I'm successful if I can make you successful. So I get a lot of reward out of that personally. I wouldn't have been able to verbalize that before, but when you ask me what I like about my job, that's what I like about my job, is supporting my bank managers and helping them have the best branches they can have, pass their audits, support them however I can, which now I have more training. So now I can support them in a lot of new ways. So I like that a lot.
That's awesome. All right, we're rounding out the bases here to the third and final question.
All right, Alix, what are your fundamental goals for the rest of 2024 and into 2025?
Yeah, so, this year has been different for us, and in reality, every year has been different than the last. We're about to celebrate our 10-year anniversary as far as being a distillery and making our products.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so that's coming up in October. But, as far as my job goes and all of the on-site operations, that just opened in 2019. So when you take into consideration the pandemic, there's still so many new faces that we're seeing. So my big goals always is bringing in, new people, showing off all of our spaces and everything that you can do with it. So, my clients and our, loyal customers have come to know us for being a great place to party. And celebrate everything, whether it's a company anniversary or your wedding or rehearsal dinner or a birthday party, or just coming to one of the events that we work so hard to put on. So I just want to be able to tap into those other folks that haven't been here at all yet, and show them what a good time they can have. And we have, 8 different spaces that all have a different feel, a different menu. So you can come here 7 days a week, do something different, drink something different, eat something different, or
go even down the slide.
Yes, the slide, the patio, the barrel room. It's endless opportunities. So that's kind of, my always forever goal. But I think this year in particular, and with the release of this new bourbon, I think it's really tapping into having Rieger be a mainstay in people's lives. I want to go to everybody's house and cheers with a glass of bourbon or a glass of our Cafe Amaro for dessert. I just want to share that with everybody in the city and beyond. So that's the big goal.
Now, have you ever heard of Centurions or thought about the program?
Yes, I have. I haven't tapped into it yet. I've been, focusing on this new MPI membership, but that's kind of my next venture.
you will dominate that. Now, as a personal goal, anything outside of work you're really looking forward to for the rest of 2024, 2025?
Yeah. Now that my daughter is 3, we've kind of made it past the keeping you alive stage. So I'd like to do some more fun things with her. So hopefully looking to travel a bit more and introduce her to some fun new stuff.
Alix, I don't want to brag much, but I'm also the co-host of a travel show on Kansas City PBS.
Oh, awesome.
And our very first stop on our pilot episode was to Electric Park, where we talked about the history of Electric Park, and we spent the whole day with you guys, and it was awesome.
Yeah, there is so much history. I mean, you could go for hours, but it's really fun. So come visit our historical exhibit. If nobody's been, you can tap into it on your own time too.
I feel
Built by Dimensional Innovations.
Yes.
Yes, I feel a kindred spirit with you guys.
Yay.
All right, Miss Dawn, fundamental goals for the overarching goals for the rest of 2024 and into 2025.
Would it be weird if I said more certifications?
No.
That is literally what I was thinking. So goal achieved.
Actually, I don't think the only certification I need is a level 2 CrossFit. That's it. And then I think with the new role at the bank, that they have me in some new, learning some new things. So I think just really getting a grasp of all those. It's a lot to learn. I've never been a bank teller before, so I had to kind of learn how to do that and learn how to do open accounts and learn how to be a bank manager. So so they've kind of opened the door for that. Plus, they're still expanding it, so I'm not quite sure. So I have a lot to learn this year as far as work, and then professional development. I don't really know of a certification I need right now, but I'm sure I'll find one. So other than that, just continue to enjoy good wine and some good bourbon. I'm going to go to Rieger and hang out with my friends and see what happens.
Everyone just send me your address and there may be something on your doorstep next week. Who knows?
Yeah, the mail order booze is a little bit of Rieger's history. Dawn, who's a mentor that really encouraged you to be great?
I will say, I'm going to shout out the 2 that I've worked with at the bank. And the first one was Alix Brown, and he still works at the bank. And he is the one who kind of got me into the operations, and he was great at mentoring me through that. And then we had, when he moved on to another position, Thomas Mangia, who's now at Cross First Bank. He's been a great mentor of just like giving me advice and guiding me through on how to develop my role here, how to be a leader when I don't actually supervise, but more by influence. So he's been great on that too. So, and he's supposed to be listening. So this will probably go to his head. So, but
they probably chime in below. Shout out,
Thomas. Yeah. So those 2 have been really great as far as since I've been here. I would say the Dr. Best at the university was a great influence on me as well. So I've had some really great supervisors, leaders that I've worked for. So those would be the best mentors I've had.
Did you ever have someone that you really didn't like working with and they taught you something?
Yes, I have. And it probably taught me that I need to handle the way I speak better.
Oh.
So you're direct with people?
I could be direct, and I think that is a blessing and a curse sometimes. Sometimes I'm too forthright, and that can be bad depending on situation. I've had to learn to maybe sometimes keep my opinion to myself. So
duly noted. All right.
Yeah, I can be a little opinious sometimes. So, but I know my strengths and weaknesses, and that can be both.
So, ladies, are you guys watching the Olympics? Wait, is CrossFit a summer Olympic?
It's not a summer Olympic, but the CrossFit Games happen every year, and those start, I think, next week. So they just happen to be starting. They happen every year, though. So
what have you been watching summer Olympic wise?
I have been most interested in the gymnastics and the track and field. But I watched a lot of it.
Alix, what about you?
Obviously gymnastics. I mean, those girls are just so amazing to watch. But it's usually whatever is on while we're having lunch, and we'll put on one of the TVs and all sit together and watch for an hour.
So Michael, before we head out, Aaron Fulk, the owner of Lily and James Creative, and the host of this show, is sitting on a beach right now. So hopefully she's not listening, and hopefully she has a cocktail in her hands. Although I don't know if it's Rieger's, but the one thing she hates is when we go rogue and ask fun questions. So I want to hear your fun question that you want to ask before we get out and talk about Bestway International and Evardy Construction. What question do you have for the ladies?
Me?
Yeah, you had a great question about where someone would want to go to.
Oh, look at putting me on the spot. Yes, well, it's a staple. Ladies, it's your birthday and somebody is taking you out to dinner. Where are you going in the metro? And don't say the Rieger. It's too easy. Okay, first up. Yes, Alix, first. Go.
My birthday is actually next week, but I'm going out of town and having a whole seafood extravaganza. But if I was staying here, I would, if I want to go the Coastal Contessa route, which is the theme for my birthday, I'd probably be at Earl's Premiere.
There you go.
Girl, get it. I love Earl's Premiere. And then, Dawn, what about you? Where would you go if it's your birthday and somebody's treating you?
I just went here a few weeks ago, and it was so good I would go back. Ragazza's.
Oh, yes, in Midtown. Lovely.
Yes, the best service, the best food, the best atmosphere, the DJ on Sundays. It was fabulous.
Meatballs the size of your head.
Yes, it was. I have literally mentioned it to so many people that is literally one of the best places I've been in Kansas City in a long time.
Chef Laura Norris, she is a goddess. And yeah, Scott, you know mine, because I've drugged Scott there I don't know how many times, but Jasper's is mine, full stop.
Yes, Jasper's is great.
Jasper's always in forever. Scott, what's yours?
I would tell everyone one of the best, coolest experiences I ever had was going with Michael Mackey to Jasper's. I felt like I was in another city. I'm boring. I'm that suburban white guy hanging out, doing barbecue at Hayward's. It's an old hole in the wall from where I grew up back in the day. But Michael, I'll let you close out the show, but I do want to say thank you so much to Bestway International. We want to thank Evardy Construction, who will be coming on the show. Their director of marketing, Rachel, we're going to drag her on the show. We're going to drag the founders, Brian and Chris, on the show, and a lot of their partners. Well, they've been on the show, but we're going to get them to be on the show even more to highlight a lot of the great work they do. They do a lot of really good work in the community, especially for non-for-profits. So we'll be bringing that up as well. But Michael, you're a pro. You're in the media. Is Sander? He's back there getting ready to press click and end the show. How do you want to end things?
We're all gonna put our hands in the air like we just don't care. Shout out to our sponsors, Bestway International, and our newest sponsor, Evardy Construction. Ladies, I just want to say thanks on behalf of Scott and I and the whole crew on Drinks with Leaders. Thanks for being a part of the show today. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see everybody back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. What? Raise your hands in the air like you just don't care.